So the mayor of Los Angeles, Karen Bass, says that ICE raids are destabilizing the local economy. That's a very interesting admission. Let's talk about it. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about the mayor of Los Angeles, Karen Bass, saying that ICE raids are destabilizing the economy of Los Angeles. Now, that's, like I said, this is a very interesting admission, because are you saying that the illegal aliens were propping the economy up? Are you saying that you need the illegal aliens to keep things going, and without them, you guys couldn't do anything? Is it because you've trained your populace to be dependent upon the government, to not work, to not do anything, and then you bring in the illegal aliens to do all the things that you incentivize your citizens to not do? Weren't you the guys who were shut down for a very long period of time, told everybody to stay home during the scamdemic? Wasn't that you, Karen Bass, and your governor, Gavin Newsom, and everybody else, your Mad Max, your Nancy Pelosi, etc.? Wasn't it you guys that set the situation up? Now, listen, California, last I checked, is still part of the USA. So although they might want to just do whatever they want to do, they can't, because immigration is a federal government responsibility. Therefore, the raids are necessary. The raids are needed. And if you don't think so, I would just say secede from the USA. But before I go any further into it and get any more triggered, let's get to actual news clip. Of course, I will always link to the clip in the description box. If you're on IG, Facebook, etc., visit a link in the bio, go to the corresponding article on the website. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Well, the raids are having a lot of ripple effects, including the financial effect on local families.
For more on that, we go to Eyewitness News reporter Leo Stallworth live in the Westlake District. Leo.
Yeah, we're in the Home Depot parking lot, very near where that ICE raid happened early this morning. And over my shoulder, immigrant rights groups are getting ready to hold a rally, a protest.
Immigrant rights groups. So my question would be, how much money do these so-called immigrant rights groups get, and where does the money come from? Because all of this stuff, the NGOs for homeless and immigrants and this and that, all of it is funded, heavily funded. That is an industry within itself. But I digress.
And Mayor Karen Bass held a news conference this morning, and she was pretty upset, saying that the financial toll that the ICE raids have taken on multiple communities in the city has been catastrophic. And of course, the financial toll it's taken on immigrant families has just been horrible. Here's more. Just this morning, federal agents storming an area near a Home Depot in the Westlake District, rounding up several people. This despite a federal court order limiting the scope of immigration enforcement operations in the area and beyond.
It's hard for me to believe that that raid was consistent with the court order that said you cannot racially profile, you cannot racially discriminate.
LA Mayor
Let's pause. Before we continue, Karen Bass is known as a black woman, but her dad, her granddad are Mexican. Her grandfather came straight from Mexico. So when you see in this woman, you got to understand who she really is. Now, I'm not saying it's bad to be Mexican, but don't just think you're looking at a black woman. It's similar to Kamala Harris. Some of y'all think, oh, that's a black woman. No. Her mom is straight from India, red dot Indian, right in the center of the forehead. Okay, let's just put it in proper context so we understand exactly what we're seeing on television. But I digress.
Karen Bass outraged, saying these raids have put a huge dent in the city's economy, with immigrant workers snatched off the streets and others refusing to show up for work or even go outdoors at all. The mayor says businesses have seen a drastic reduction in immigrant customers, crippling their bottom line. She's concerned some immigrant families whose breadwinners have been rounded up by ICE may be on the brink of being left destitute.
When one breadwinner, one wage earner is gone and disappears, to survive in our city economically, you need 2, 3, and 4 wage earners to keep housing, to keep food on the table, to keep clothes on your kids.
2, 3, and 4 incomes in one house just to be able to survive. That sounds pretty specific to California. Now, I know all over the country things are expensive, inflation and everything. I get it. But I think California has very unique problems that they are not solving. So their quote unquote solution is to bring in a bunch of illegal aliens. So what do they really want? The border to be wide open and to let everybody across? I'm not really sure what they're trying to do to fix their problems, but I don't think whatever they're doing is working too much. Because even with the illegal aliens, you still got a super expensive place to live.
When that is taken away from you, that just doesn't destabilize a family. That destabilizes a neighborhood. It destabilizes businesses. It destabilizes a community.
Despite the temporary restraining order preventing the raids and the federal government's failure to win a pause of the order, Los Angeles U.S. Attorney saying immigration enforcement will continue in Southern California, adding, the enforcement of federal law is not negotiable. Mayor Bass sounding off.
We are going to stand strong, that we are going to continue to resist, and that we are not going to accept this situation, which was why we had a court decision and a temporary restraining order, and now that needs to be enforced and that needs to be upheld.
Y'all want to play court games all day long, but at the end of the day, the federal government has ultimate control over immigration. So all of this is just delaying the inevitable. You might as well just go ahead and fall back.
So what his description of federal law, I would say, is lawlessness.
And the mayor's saying that if city attorneys determine that those federal agents violated the temporary restraining order by engaging in that ICE raid not far from here this morning, the federal government might find itself back in court. Live in the Westlake District.
Hey, y'all play them court games all day long. It ain't nothing new. Oh, they can find themselves back in court. Well, welcome to 2024. Welcome to 2025. Welcome to current day USA. They always play court games. That ain't nothing new. But as I close, I want to say this. Shout out to everybody who understands what's going on here, that the illegal alien issue in this country is a serious problem. It is a problem. And like I said many times before, this was my chief issue in the 2024 election. It was before everything, before Epstein files, whatever kind of, it was the migrant crisis. Not just in a place like California, but all over the whole country, it was a problem. Listen, the Democrats wanted to try and solve inflation with bringing in a bunch of migrants because they would drive down the cost of doing business. That's the bottom line. That's why you got so many of these guys trucking. They can't speak no English at all. It's not because there's really a trucking shortage. It's because when you flood the market with these people, it drives the prices down. Therefore, it kind of helps with inflation, but it's going to damage the truck drivers. It's going to impact people on the road because you got these people that really can't drive that well on the road, like they're in Bangladesh, where you got crazy conditions. You don't have those conditions over here in the USA. So you're making people less safe on the road. You're driving down wages of truck drivers, and they got families to feed as well. You're making life harder for a lot of people just to get a certain, okay, we're going to shave off 5 cents on this and make numbers look good. What about the actual conditions of American citizens? The illegal aliens, migrants, or whatever, that's secondary to what actual Americans need in the US of A. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your opinion about what's happening here with the ICE raids? Do you think that's the reason why there's an economic downturn or economic disruption happening in California? Is it more to it than that? How about the entire USA? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. I don't really care if it's impacting them or not, because they are trying to solve their problems in California that they created with their policy by breaking the federal law. And since when was that allowed? Since when can you break the law and then accuse those who are trying to enforce it of being lawless? It makes no sense at all. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that is all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.